I'm good.
What happened?
Am I echoing? Am I good?
You're not echoing.
Okay, cool. Let me give me 1 minute. I'm just closing my door. Trying to make everything trying to sound perfect for you, so there's like no interference. Uh, okay. All right. Well, I'm ready when you are.
Okay, just to let you know, today I cannot do the other part of the video where you wanted me to ask questions about when you started YouTube. We can do that on a different day.
Um. Okay, that's not a problem. I didn't really think it's like like the way I was thinking about it is like maybe and asking me just a question for like maybe 5 6 minutes, and then we could go into the topic. But if you don't want to do that, it's fine.
Oh yeah, that can be a part of the introduction. No, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
could do that.
Okay,
I
cool.
just some reason I was under the assumption that you may want like a separate video, like
Oh, no, no,
explain to
no,
it.
no, 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 no. So the way I want to like structure it, so some of your people can know at least who I am, not just a random person. Like who is this
Right.
guy? At least have like hey, this is the so and so. When did you start that? And then that's little like what 3 4 minutes, and then we could just go into it.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All
Let me
right. So
let me know
go
when
ahead.
you're ready.
Okay, basically, I'm gonna do the introduction and I'll ask the questions that you mentioned. Then I will ask the questions related to the topic, and I'll give you a chance to discuss. I mean, give your answer, and then I'll answer. All right?
All right, no problem.
We are ready to record.
Okay.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everybody is doing well. In today's video, I am in the company of Radical Latino. He's a YouTuber. He has really great content, and all of you should check out his channel. I will leave a link to his channel in the description. Thank you to all of my subscribers for their support. And before I get started with today's topic, I would like to ask a few questions to Radical Latino for those who didn't know him. I just wanted him to introduce himself and talk a little bit about his channel and the reason why he is on YouTube. So the first question I have, is pretty straight and forward, is how long have you been in YouTube and why did you decided to start a YouTube channel?
First of all, thank you for having me. For those who don't know who I am, I go by the name The Radical Latino. You can find me on YouTube as The Radical Latino, Instagram, Twitter, Radical underscore Latino underscore. And, um, some people call me the Afrocentric Latino, but, it is what it is. The way I started this like a year ago. The reason why I started, my main focus wasn't to be on YouTube. It's just to do podcasts. To be really honest, I've only went on YouTube just to market myself. But the main reason why I started is because I started to study what was this whole thing about racism and getting a better understanding on the concept of racism. And then from there, I got introduced to a lot of people who actually wrote books on racism, and they put a name to it called white supremacy, something that I didn't know nothing about, but everything made sense when they put it in the context of white supremacy. And then from there, I started studying it more. And then since, the person that we call our president called Donald Trump came into office calling all Latinos rapists, murderers, and thieves, and all this other crazy stuff, that's when I said, all right, I have to at least, be a voice for the Latin community. If some of them don't accept me as the voice, at least the other people will. It is what it is. But that's basically why I decided to, come out and start my YouTube so quote unquote career.
Okay, great. It's really great having you here. So I think that we should all respect each other's point of view. We should all understand that, because we all have different mindsets, we all have different ways of seeing things. It doesn't mean that your ideas are any less valid than anybody else's ideas who is part of the Latin community. So I am going to continue with the questions of the topic for today. So the topic of today is the possible unification of the island of Dominican Republic and Haiti altogether. Now, a lot of people actually think that radical Latino is actually an Afrocentric, which I think is a misconception, and we'll get into that concept later on in the video. But basically, I wanted to know your response. How do you feel about the possible unification between both countries sharing the same island, and how do you feel about illegal immigration, the issue that exists in Dominican Republic?
Well, the whole unification thing, I don't see that as being something far fetched. That's something that's definitely could happen, and it did happen in the past when all the people in that island were called Taínos. The the division didn't start until the Spanish came and started, raping and killing and enslaving all the people. This is history. This is not just my opinion. This is history and this is facts. That's when the whole division really started. But if we're talking about now, yeah, we have a lot of things that we have to really, look at. A lot of things that we have to really fix before we start talking about unifying. But it's not something that we can't really do. You feel what I'm saying? Now, the whole point of immigration, um, to be honest, the way I see immigration is used as a tool to relabel the people that they're trying to undermine, because they do it here in the United States, right? So what they end up doing is calling Mexicans and everybody that's your so-called illegals immigrants, and they say that they don't want them here, and they start talking about putting up a wall, detention centers and stuff. So they start relabeling the people to justify the mistreatment, and that mistreatment is justified all across the board because they're already labeled as somebody who's breaking the law. So you won't really see something negative when a certain group of people is being mistreated because, hey, they're breaking the law. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing in any other country. And for example, DR, when they're talking about, immigration and all this other stuff, that's just relabeling a certain group of people. Haiti has been economically decimated throughout, years and years and years, from the French and all this other stuff. And the thing is, they haven't been helped out like every other country who've been to wars, and they've been given set asides and they've been getting help to rebuild. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a false dichotomy if we're just going to be saying that, well, Haiti is poor and they need to pull themselves up from their bootstraps. No, we kind of got to look back at the history of it. There's a reason why Haitians are going to Dominican Republic is because of economic, you know, issues and the economic reasons. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, if people really look up the economic benefits of Haitians going into DR, it's actually a positive because the immigrants who go into DR actually boost up the economy, believe it or not. The same thing how immigrants boost up the economy in the United States.
Okay, so first of all, I have to disagree with you in a lot of the things that you said. And I will say that in any given situation, such as illegal immigration, such as building a wall and all of that stuff, I can see similarities in terms of the struggle, that people experience. I don't agree with you in terms of, the history. First of all, there's a lot of things that people need to learn about our history. First of all, division happened even before the Europeans came to the New World. I mean, you got Taínos going to wars with each other. You got Africans going to work with each other. I mean, it wasn't like we were all holding hands and everything was paradise before the Europeans came. No, there was already division among different tribes. Does that justify what the let's not act like we were all singing Kumbaya and like everything was beautiful and perfect, because that wasn't the world in which that was not the picture that you can paint before the European came. Second of all, there's a lot of differences between what the English and the British did here in the United States versus what the Spaniards did. I'm not saying the Spaniards are saints, but there was intermarriages amongst Taínos and Spaniards, Africans and Spaniards. How did you describe 39 skin tones in Dominican Republic? Did that happen in the last couple of years? Did that happen in the last couple of months? Did that happen in the last century? No. After we were discovered, mixing occurred. Did rape occur? Of course it occurred. But there was also consensual sex, and there was also polyamory relationships. There was also prostitution, but there was also a lot of couples that lived happily with each other. Okay, so that's something that we need to also talk about, because it's not all negative and horrible as a lot of people tend to be. Tend to explain it. In terms of, what the Spaniards did in my country, they built schools. They did a lot of horrible things. I'm not going to take that away from them. But the way you're painting it is like everything, absolutely everything, was horrible when it's not the reality. There's a lot of differences that you are not paying attention to. And I can certainly, if you want, I can certainly send you some sources if there's something that you are interested in learning about. In terms of the illegal immigration, first of all, Dominican Republic is a third world country. It's not the United States. How can we give what we don't have? And are there people in Dominican Republic who are racist? Absolutely. There are people who are racist. I'm not disputing that by any means. But what about all the help that we offer to them? What about 10 years of them living in Dominican Republic without paying rent? What about us allowing them to go to school for free? What about us allowing the pregnant woman giving birth in our hospital for free? What about us giving them jobs? And in terms of our economy, that I do have to agree, because Haiti is our second, if not the first, country with whom we have a commercial relation. In terms of them working in construction, yes, the majority of the construction workers are from Haiti. However, how is that going to benefit the average Dominican citizen? That doesn't benefit us. That benefits some of them. Because again, you are trying to conflate the entire issue with the quote-unquote Mexican illegal immigration versus Haitians illegal immigrants. It's completely different. Now, for me, from my perspective, my issue is the cultural differences. We don't speak the same language. We have differences in our religion. We have differences even in our education, and I'm not talking about college education. I'm talking about that a lot of these people, and I feel horrible saying this, are not above kid age. They are at a primitive stage. I'm not saying the Dominican Republic is any, super good, but at least we are a little bit above the primitive stage. So when we already have so many issues, so many problems, so many social, political, and economic problems, how are we going to be able to help them and unify into one country? How is that going to benefit them? And if you can please give me more information as how unifying the island is going to benefit the economy of Dominican Republic and Haiti, both at the same time. Tell me how.
All right. First of all, let's go down the list. You said there was infighting in the different tribes. Can you please name the tribes outside of the Taínos in that island?
Oh, well, they all came from Araguayo, the Caribbean island, the Caribbean tribe. And, I don't remember the exact name they were all called Taínos, but they were different tribes that belong to the Arawaks that live in Cuba, Puerto Rico, Jamaica. They all had conflicts between each other.
Okay.
And it is suspicious, hold on, it is suspicious, I don't know if this is true. Caunabo practiced cannibalism in Dominican Republic.
Well, there's no evidence of that. There's no evidence of that from a.
I can send you links.
Well, yeah, you could send me links, but there's no evidence of that because they say the same thing about Africa. You can't really say cannibalism really starting a tropical island where there's literally food everywhere that grows on trees. That type of mentality doesn't make sense. But if you're talking about different tribes infighting, well, they weren't called Haitians or Dominicans. They were just Tainos. That happened everywhere with whites, with Asians, with Africans. That happened everywhere. The thing is, it didn't boil down to race or the fact of these little pseudo signs talking about these people are, what you just said, they're, lower class or they're tribal, and that did not come about until the Spanish invaded that place.
Okay, here I'm gonna digress with you right there. First of all, I will say you are right. It wasn't about race. It was about power. I'll give you that. Second of all, I do have a lot of references and a lot of information that I'll be happy to send you about how it was proven that Caunabo was a cannibalist.
Okay.
Okay. Second of all. Third of all, my whole point is that the way that I interpret what you said is that everything was nice, beautiful, it was paradise, and then all of a sudden the Spaniards came and it was conflict. When that was not the case, it might have not been about race. You're right about that, because they were fighting against the same people. I will give you that. But let's not pretend that there wasn't conflict. You know?
Well,
let's not all pretend that we were all
the way you're describing it is like, let's say me and you are family, right? Let's say me and you are family. This is the way you're describing it. Infighting, right? Me and you are arguing, and then a group of police come in here and shackle us up and force us to work. Do you see the difference in that? You can't say one thing was the same when the Spanish came and when the Spanish wasn't there. You cannot say that. There was infighting, yes, it happened. There was people disagreeing with each other. It happens all the time. But there's a big difference between coming. Wait, hold on, hold on. There's a big difference between coming into another island that you do not belong in and seeing those people as primitive, then bringing other people and then forcing them to work. There's a big difference. The Taínos didn't do that.
They enslaved each other.
I'm sorry, what?
They enslaved each other.
Yeah, I know that, but there's a big difference between the European slaves and the Taino slaves. It happened in Africa also. There was no subjugation. That's the thing that you're not understanding. There was no subjugation. They did not have no subjugation. Ma'am, they did not have no subjugation. The Taínos did not see their slaves. The Taínos, ma'am, the Taínos did not see their slaves as inferior.
Latino, I am trying to tell you that there is an issue with my recording.
Okay.
That's what I'm.
Go. Okay, no problem.
I don't think this is. I mean, maybe some other time we can record this. Let's just do another day. I don't feel like I can continue.
Oh, when the information starts getting heavy, you just run. Okay, not a problem.
Because I'm gonna get angry, and
I don't know why. Because I was gonna go down everything. You talking about rape? You talking about different colors? How can I explain different colors in DR? That's very simple. It's due to rape. If you know what I'm saying. But if you don't want to have this conversation, it's totally fine. We could never do it, or we could do it when you won't get emotional. You know what I'm saying?
It's not about getting emotional. It's the way that you talk to me. You know, like, I did interrupt you, but it's like you get really. You're the one who actually got emotional. I did not get emotional with everything that I said. I was very objective.
Listen. If I get passionate, I'm sorry, but I'm just speaking. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just speaking.
I would prefer if you don't talk to me like that, because I find it to be disrespectful.
All right, I'm sorry. I'll tone down my volume.
You know, it's not right.
Okay,
I give you
I'll
respect.
tone
I
down my
told you.
volume. I'll tone down my volume. Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry?
I'll tone down my volume. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, the other thing is that I think it's better because I think there was some noise in the background. Um, do you mind if we do it tomorrow and I'll find a more private space?
Yeah, not a problem.
I'm sorry about that. Do you
It's
want to say do the same thing, same time?
yeah. No, tomorrow I got another interview. Can we do it earlier? Are you free all day tomorrow?
Yeah, I am free. Pretty much.
All day?
Okay.
Okay, we
Except
could.
at 6, I have another interview.
Say, oh, we could do it early afternoon, like around 12.
Okay. All right.
It works fine for me. Have a good one.
You too.